Come on, you guys. Let's go. Let's go, boys. Listen, it wasn't the sexiest performance today. Hell, it wasn't even the best performance. But I think right now we are simply in results mode. Results, 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 results. And today we can thank Senor Marcus Alonso Regen himself in Mark Cucurella. One of my common complaints about this game today was the fact that no player wants to attempt anything off script. Outside of sticking to their zonal positions in this positional play system, no one's trying to take shots outside the box. No one's looking to create a bit of mayhem, go on a bit of a run, do something unpredictable. And it felt like Cucurella was getting sick and tired of things himself. And in typical Cucurella fashion this season, he's taken responsibility and he's made something happen. And I can't believe I'm seeing Cucurella is now adding and unlocking goals scored outside the box. I mean, honestly, the transformation we've seen from Cucurella over the course of a season is absolutely remarkable. I think it was like this same time last year, I was seeing Anthony spinning this guy for fun at Stamford Bridge. And right now, the transformation is completely different. And it is a reminder that sometimes if you have patience with players, maybe they aren't as bad as what you originally think. Give them some time, let them grow, let them find their confidence, and you see something completely new in them. And I think Cucurella is absolutely testament to that, because not only was this goal brilliant, I mean, the execution with that technique, hitting it hard and low away from Hermanson, who was on point today in goal, who made some good saves. And I could see why Maresca actually really wanted to bring him to Chelsea this season. So it was going to take something quite special to beat him in goal today. And Cucurella, as he's been doing throughout this season, he's stepped the hell up. And like I'm saying, man, outside of just his contributions offensively now, adding more goals. I think he's one of our highest scoring players in 2025. Make of that what you will with that facts, but it's what he's showing in midfields, you know, in terms of breaking the play up, stopping counterattacks, you know, his one-touch players' movement in midfield. And most importantly today, his defending was on point. I mean, during the entirety of that second half, Leicester were trying to isolate Cucurella with their winger 1v1, and Cucurella was making interceptions for days, constant headers away from danger, constantly breaking the play up, and constantly in communication with his defense. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Cucurella was the man of the match. But outside of that, I would give honorable mentions to Moises Caicedo, who, come on, like, do we even have to worry about Moises picking up another yellow card today? I mean, like, when he knows, okay, I need to relax, he can do that. And he can still be like the most effective midfield player in the game, playing with restrictions around him. And another player I'd show some love towards today would be the efforts of Pedro Neto, who, this guy, he was a willing runner. He was putting those yards in for the team. The mentality, the stuff that we care about, the stuff we want to see from the players, that was in full effect today from Pedro Neto, where, listen, he didn't have it his way in terms of getting the chances on goal or really having much offensive influence. But that did not distract him from his pressing defensive duties for the team. And one of the reasons why Neto works for us when Nico Jackson isn't in the team is because now we have an option that can allow the entire team to press from the front. Because when you have a Pedro Neto that is putting in those yards, taking that defensive responsibility, putting in the graveyard shift, you're encouraging, it's infectious, the energy. You're encouraging your teammates to match your energy. When he's pressing high, his teammates have to press high with him. He is setting the precedent for what we're doing. And that's going to be key for us against Arsenal, because realistically, he'll be playing against them next week. So I had to show some love to Neto. There was that particular moment in the second half when he was like sprinting for the ball for like a good, minute and a half, left to right, backwards, forwards, before I think Tyree George eventually won the second ball for us to make up for the endeavors of Pedro Neto. So they were the positives in this game today. But this is where things get a bit tricky now with this review, because we can analyze the result, and the result means that we've maintained our top 4 position. It's a good week for us result-wise, considering Man City lost against Forest. Bournemouth have drawn against Spurs today. Clubs around us in the pack, they messed up this week, and we had to secure 6 points in our last 2 games and hope that we get a good result against Arsenal. Listen, 1 point against Arsenal gives us something, but getting 3 points and winning, you really have some real hopes for what we do this season. And our hopes grow even more considering that your Lavias and your Maduekes and your Nikos are all coming back before this month ends. We get to have a full-strength team and squad coming up to securing CL football. That is a big thing to have. So from a results perspective, this has been a very good week for us. But from a performance perspective, if we're keeping it real, if Cucurella never blasted it outside from 25 yards from that angle he scored from, where was this goal really coming from? Where was the opportunities really coming from? Like, our only consistent danger that we produced throughout this game came from corners. And it's obvious that Maresca is encouraging the outswinging type of technique, which is like the cross that curves away from the goalkeeper. Because the idea behind that is that if someone's attacking that cross, then obviously it's a lot more favorable for them to head that towards goal. Cool, that makes sense. But on the other side, that technique is very, very hard to get right. And you might not like what I say. I think the best player that I've seen at getting that cross right outside of Lampard, I probably would say was Mason Mount, who was really good at that particular set piece. And yeah, I think Enzo played like maybe 8 or 9 of them today, and they were all of like varying quality. And it shows you how difficult it is to get right. But as I'm saying, outside of corners and set pieces, like, where was the goal threat really coming from? What were we doing to really unlock and break down Leicester City? This is the main fear. And listen, the result is big today. We're not going to dismiss that. But equally, we can't forget the performance, because for myself, until we can eventually master a way of combating this type of team that uses low to mid blocks, goes man v man against us defensively, stop balls between the lines, and all that stuff they normally do. The stuff that I think I've been saying for the last 4 years. It's like I'm just going off an auto script at this point. But until we find a consistent way against this type of opposition tactic, we won't be able to secure the objectives we want. Because when it comes to winning a league, you'll be playing against this type of team most times during a season. And today was not a great example of positional play football. It really wasn't. What frustrated me was the lack of purpose, was the lack of bravery. And I'm also going to stick it on the players too, because I feel at times they're too quick to hide behind the system. I'm sorry, when you're seeing spaces, and let's say you're Fofana or your Colwell or you're someone, you have the quality where you should have the confidence to carry that ball a bit further forwards or make an underlapping run so you can maybe free up space 1v1 for one of the wingers to do something with. Is Maresca, this is the thing, is he discouraging these guys from doing actions like that? Or are the players in their heads and they're too fearful of losing the ball? Hence why they're too prone to going for the easy save pass. Because honestly, you guys, I don't see enough third man presence. And what I mean by that is I'm not seeing enough third man runs in behind. I'm not seeing enough rotational speed and fluidity in terms of what we're doing. Everything is very much this. You're playing it around the defense, or you're playing it to Palmer so he can Palmer something up. Or the other move is a ball over the top, which we were seeing from Moises trying to find Cucurella, who was the only guy consistently getting on the end of these balls and behinds. Or it's the dreaded play out wides, cut back, cross to death football that we've seen a bit too much of recently. Outside of that, what was there really to find solutions against Leicester City? That, from a performance analysis, that's a little bit worrying. That wasn't that great. And the only thing I've noticed when I watch other teams like Liverpool play, Barcelona, Madrid, even Bayern Munich, who are also facing this type of team quite a lot, they just have so much positional fluidity. There's so much encouragement for players to run into vacated spaces. Yeah. Too much of our guys, what I hate seeing when we're trying to break these teams down is that you'll see, like, let's say Leicester's defensive line, they got like 5, 6 guys just all lined up in a row, right? And then you'll see like 4 of our players in the pockets in between them. But then Leicester have like another 4 guys in front of their defense, just screening off all those passes through the lines. And it's like our players will just like happily stay there. Though I looked at Nkunku, I thought was awful today. I thought Nkunku was poor. Just happily staying in his position for like a minute, just doing nothing. Not even having the brains or common sense to be like, yo, maybe I should just like drop a bit deeper. Let me try and do something a bit different. Let me go off the script a little bit. And I saw reluctance from anyone outside of Cucurella and even Enzo Fernandez at times to show any type of off-script ability to just add a new facet, a new dimension, a bit of danger, a bit of mayhem, a moment, just to give a bit of a boost to the team. And I think that is a disappointing thing from not just the tactics today, but also the players' application of the system. Because, listen, when this positional play stuff can work, we have seen it work this season, because we wouldn't be in 4th place right now. Let's keep it humble. And let's not forget the results he was gassing for large parts of the season, yeah? But when it's played badly, my lord, does it like suck away any type of excitement or passion? Does it make the game become so pedestrian, so one note, so samey, but all the players look like the same type of NPCs on the pitch? Just got no soul, no nothing to what they're doing. Like, listen, but it's played badly. This is what positional play can look like. When it's played well, it can be exciting, it can be good. But a lot of times you're relying upon the opposition you're playing against wanting to influence their game on you too. And when they're not looking to do that, when they're looking to do this current like 5-4-1 tactic, which is working too well against us, then this is where the football looks quite mid. And I don't know, Maresca, there will be times where we're not going to get the luck of someone like Cucurella getting us to win in the manner he did today. We'll drop more points if we don't find more solutions. And I'm at a point right now where it's like, I'm even sympathizing. Actually, I don't know. Like, this football just confuses me sometimes. Like, I guess I feel sorry for some players and not sorry for other players. Maybe the defenders, I feel like the wide defenders especially, I want to see these guys, like, if the ball's on the right-hand side for Fana, underlap, carry it forward, or just make a third man run. Free up space for a Sancho. I sympathize for Sancho more because it's like you're receiving 2v1 24/7. Not many guys are good enough outside of like maybe 5 wingers in the entire game who are going to relish these 2v1 encounters. But even when they're in these positions, like if it's Lamine Yamal, giving like a crazy example, is he just like receiving by himself 2v1 and there's no movement around him? There's no one near him. There's no one making runs off him. No, it don't work like that. It does not work like that. And at the moment, we just lack any type of real third man run presence, any real movement. Players are just too happy hiding behind the system. And they're doing it too much to the detriment of the football at times. I'm sorry. Maybe I have to like maybe suffer through watching some of these games again because I like to like record them behind the scenes. But yeah, something we'll get found out eventually. The rock will go out against us because when you're struggling to really find unique possibilities against Leicester City, then what does it say about our hopes against a team who's better than Leicester playing the same way? But anyway, to end things, of course, I want to end things by discussing Cole Palmer real quick. Listen, I can't believe I'm saying this. I've seen Cole Palmer miss a penalty for us. That's insane, in my opinion. But at the same time, listen, he's got a bad run of form. It's the first time in his career he's having this. It's his second full season. It's part of the learning process. Even though Palmer's probably our best player, he's not above also learning and improving and growing from these moments. We should still back him even though his form is deserting him. But even then, to add to that, I'd even say, listen, is he getting helped when there's no real outlets for him to pass to? Like, at least before, if he had games or moments in the game where he was a bit mids, he'll find himself back in the game when he's played a beautifully weighted pass in behind that unlocks Malo Gusto running there or Madueke. But then those possibilities even get denied in this current system. So it's a little bit of give and go, to be honest with you. Even though Palmer's having the weakest form at our club at the moment, but hopefully, you know, this is a wake up call. He can grow from this. You know, Palmer's not above growing. He's still our guy. We're not going to lose faith or hope in Cole Palmer. But yeah, I'm not going to lie, it does feel a bit surreal that he misses the penalty today. And it was a bad penalty. It was no conviction. It was not really aimed for any real area. And it was easily saved, in my opinion. But that's everything from me today, my friends. You share your thoughts and opinions on the result and the performance. I want to hear your ideas on those two things, results and performance. So see you then. Cool.